Looks like you want to set up a private limited company? Well, you have clicked the right video. In this video, I'll explain you how private limited company is established in India with the easiest and most simplest documentation process in the least possible time. Before I proceed, let me introduce myself. I am Manisha, a startup advisor at Setindiabiz, where we provide incorporation services to hundreds of companies every single month and help startup and small businesses to grow with our extremely affordable legal compliance services. Let me begin with congratulating you on your selection of private limited company as a form of business for your startup. This is the most preferred choice of startups due to its flexibility, robust regulatory framework and venture funding, possible only in the company form of business. However, if you are a single owner promoting your company, so let me tell you one thing. The owner is also known as shareholder in the companies. Then a one-person company would be the best choice. I have given a link of our video on one-person company and its advantages in description below. First, let's understand the meaning of a private limited company. A private limited company is a company that is registered under the Companies Act 2013. The word private, as simple as it means that the shares of a private limited company cannot be sold to any general public and also not on any public platform. The word limited conveys that the shareholder enjoyed limited liability, which means there is a liability which will be as per the unpaid share capital. So we'll talk about the minimum requirements you need to start a private limited company. Now you have understood the meaning of private limited company. Let's understand the minimum requirements to start a company. For your ease of understanding, I'll discuss them in a simplest manner, and there are three major requirements, such as first one is promoter, second is registered address, and third is the capital of company. So let's begin. You may be aware that to set up a private limited company, there must be two shareholders and two directors. Same person may be shareholder as well as director. Hence, effectively, any two person can start a private limited company. The maximum number of shareholder permitted in a private limited company is 200. Let me pause this quickly and explain the meaning of director and how it is different from the shareholder. The shareholders are the co-owner of the company, whereas the director is a person who is responsible for the daily functioning and regulatory compliance. The shareholders are entitled to share the profit and also known as dividend. The director receives remuneration from the company. One of the director of the company should be Indian resident during the last financial year, which means the person is said to be the resident if he or she is in India from the last over 182 days in the previous financial year. So let's recap the key point of requirements with respect to the promoter. First point is that the shareholder and director are collectively called promoters. The second point is that shareholder invest capital and earn return on investments as a dividend. The third point is that the minimum 2 and maximum 200 shareholders are allowed in a private limited company. The fourth point is that the director are the de facto manager of the company responsible for their administration. The fifth point is that at least one director needs to be the resident of India. And sixth point is that the same person can be shareholder as well as director of the company. Seventh point is that though a minor can be shareholder, but the director has to be above 18 years. We'll go ahead and talk about the registered address. Now I hope you have understood about the first requirement to start a company. The second most important requirement is with respect to the registered office of the company. The company is required to maintain one physical address as its registered office, the details of which are filed at the time of incorporation of the company, along with the proof of address of the premises, and no objection certificate is also required from the owner of the premises. Here is the most important point with respect to the registered office and the address of the company. First point is that the registered office space cannot be a vacant space of land. It should be constructed space. The second point is that it can either be commercial or residential in nature. The third point and the most important point is that if you are renting a space, you must first sign a rent agreement with the owner of the property. Let's go ahead and talk about the initial capital of the company. Another requirement is with the respect to the initial capital of the company. As per Companies Act, there is no minimum and maximum capital that has been prescribed. Hence, the promoter should decide the initial capital with which they want to incorporate the company based on the proposed activities and business plan. The fee payable to the ROC is dependent on the capital and the state where the registered office of company is situated. So we'll go ahead and we'll start stepwise process. So far we have understand the meaning of private limited company and the minimum requirement to set up it. In case you still have any question, please feel free to ask in comments and chat with our representatives. Let us now discuss the process of company registration. The process of incorporation begins with the documentation and concludes with the issuance of Certificate of Incorporation by the ROC. Now I'll tell you steps to incorporate a company in India. The first step is to obtain a digital signature certificate which is issued by the certifying authority. All the filing during the registration are done online. The DSC is an electronic equivalent of the written or physical signature. We need to obtain digital signature for all the promoters of the company before we begin the process of company registration. So the second step is applying for the name reservation. While deciding your company's name, always ensure that it should be new, unique and one that communicates your brand value. To decide the name that's eligible, it must be accordance with the statutory guidelines set up by the law. To reserve your name for your company, you are required to file run application. It is first attempt of filing the form and you can pick any two options. We'll go ahead and tell you about the preparation of MOA and AOA. The Memorandum of Association of the company is the document that defines the proposed activities, its location, capital and about the limited liabilities of its shareholders. In the end of MOA, the first shareholder subscribe for the capital of the company and annex their digital signature, which we have discussed before about the digital signature. The Articles of Association of internal constitution of the company containing its rules and its bylaws. Fourth step, filing of application to ROC for incorporation. To incorporate the company, an application in Spice Plus form is filed to the ROC along with the MOA and AOA of the particular basic documentation of the promoters and registered address. We help our clients to prepare the Spice Plus form, certify it and file with the ROC for its processing. The ROC fees for incorporation depend on the capital and the state where registered office is situated. Every state government imposes stamp duty on MOA and AOA. Fifth step is issuance of incorporation certificate. Upon approval of the Spice Plus form by the ROC, a digital certificate of incorporation is issued by ROC containing company's CIN, PAN, TAN and its registered office on the same. Issuance of certificate of incorporation is conclusive proof that the company has been successfully registered. Now we'll go ahead and discuss about the documentation. Well, so far we have understood the basic meaning of private limited company, the minimum requirement to start a company and step-by-step process as well. Now let's understand the documents that you have to arrange for the purpose of incorporation of the company. We can divide the required documents in two parts. On the first part, every promoter has to submit copies of their PAN card, Aadhaar card and the address proof along with the latest color photograph. All documents except photograph need to be self-attested. On the second part, the proof of registered address of the company in form of electricity bill or any other eligible utility bill along with the NOC of the owner of the premises is required. I have included a link in the description to blog detailing and the complete list of documents required to set up a company along with the downloadable formats. Now I'll tell you that how Setindiabiz can help you. Our team of company secretaries and paralegal experts will guide you at every single step with their credible and reliable services. Well, what are you waiting for? Our team of startup advisors are waiting to talk to you and help you start your entrepreneurial journey with utmost ease and effortlessness. Our services extend throughout India with a number of regional offices at several locations. To make things more convenient, our team will communicate with you in your regional language, including Marathi, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, and English. We are serving thousands of successful startups with a smile and waiting for you to get on board with us.